Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We provide fan-oriented and analytic discussions on a variety of animated shows, movies, and anime, currently featuring Steven Universe, Voltron Legendary Defender, Star Wars The Force of Evil, and Ruby. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Delaney Stovall.
Hey, y'all.
And Jeff Anderson.
Hey, hey.
Today, Delaney, Jeff, and I will be discussing episodes 9 and 10 of Voltron Legendary Defender Season 2, The Belly of the Weblum, and Escape from Beta Traz. Interesting titles, yeah. Pretty self-explanatory given seeing the episodes, but I think without seeing the episodes, these would make no sense. We're going through all of, Voltron, Legendary Defender Season 2, which dropped on Netflix last Friday. And we're getting close to the end. Check out all of our Voltron podcasts at overlyanimated.com. Find our iTunes feed there, our Voltron specific iTunes feed, and subscribe to us there, or potentially check us out on YouTube and subscribe to us there. So, we are watching, along with podcasting, so we have not seen, the last 3 episodes yet. We have just seen up to and including episode 10. Spoilers for all of the episodes up to and including episode 10, but not for the last 3 episodes.
That's why I love podcasting, because it means I can watch another 2 episodes.
Yeah, that's the good part of doing it. Yeah. Yeah, no, it was a little bit frustrating with the schedule. It's like sometimes it's like a day and it's like, I just want to finish the season, but no.
No, it was nice that it was like I wanted to be on last night, but it was like I got to watch 4 in a row.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah. So let's get into these 2 episodes. I'd say less plot consequential episodes than episode 8.
Definitely.
I think we're going to go over, I think we can go over episode 9 first. So give me your, initial impression of episode 10, just like a line, and then go into a little more detail on episode 9. So let's start with Delaney.
Like 10, my child was doing things that's like always like points. I think episode 9 is a lot better than episode 10. I really enjoyed episode 9, which is really interesting because episode 9 has, if we'd been like, last season, I would have been like, oh, these are my least favorite characters. But I can't say that anymore. I feel like all the characters are at this point that I love all of them. And I don't want anything bad to happen to any of them.
Interesting. Okay, good. Yeah, your child being Pidge from
yes.
The first one. Okay, so yeah, that's good. Interesting. So we'll get more into their portrayal, like how all the characters have been portrayed. Jeff, what about you? 10 and then 9, yeah.
10, I didn't think it was nearly as visually interesting as 9. It's pretty procedural jail heist thing. I mean, Slav, their target, was quite interesting, and I'm interested to see what they do with him. So yeah, I did enjoy watching it though. It's fun seeing Pidge in action, doing her hacking. 9, I just love the design of all the different internal organs of this Weblum thing. And, I guess also throughout 9 and 10, I like the C plot or B plot or whatever, back on Zarkon, where you follow both, Zarkon himself with his druids and, the traitor going through and avoiding detection. Interesting stuff. I look forward to talking about it.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, I think 10, starts off really slow. I think it gets there at the end. I think Slav is one of the best elements of the show this season. I'm a big Slav fan. Very, very much like, I had to turn the subtitles on, but I very much like, Slav, and I think I had a ton of memorable lines there. The rest of episode 10, I think is fine. I think it ends up being a good character episode for, Lance and Pidge. 9, I'm not crazy about. I think that it is visually really interesting. But I think it's, once again, it's just like another tropey episode that we're approaching. It's you go inside something. Usually you have to shrink for this.
Right. Oh man, I was getting flashbacks to Ralphie's stomach in Magic School Bus.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've done this a lot. I always get, Osmosis Jones flashbacks.
Yeah. That's the best.
Yeah, they did this in Rick and Morty, though. They did that. Yeah, they always, it's a very, animation archetype. I didn't find anything that they did particularly super interesting. The, design of the Weblum is the best part for episode 9 for me. This is, and it's great because 1, it's visually interesting too. I think, it is a very, very direct and, kind of obvious reference to the Ohm in Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, which is, I think, the best movie ever. And that's a movie from 1984, and the Ohm are kind of these very hand-drawn just kind of giant creatures, and this Weblum is just kind of this like space whale version of it, but they still go with like this portrait kind of style of it. It doesn't really move. It's kind of just like it's more just like one shot. It's not super animated that much unless it's like attacking or something. It's got like the eyes of the Ohm. It's got, it's great. I love the Nausicaa reference here. I thought the outside of the Ohm was great. Anything we're doing inside the Ohm wasn't super great for me. I'm interested to see, if this, new Galran best friend of Keith's pays off. I'm definitely calling this person being female, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because, I was thinking about it, like, I made a checklist before the season, like what I want from the season. One of the things was another major female character, and we haven't had any, I think, recurring female characters this season outside of our main cast. We haven't really had many recurring characters in general, but there have been a few male ones.
In fact, like, as far as female Galra go, I actually am not aware of any.
That's a good point. Yeah, have we?
No, there aren't any that we. Yeah.
Yeah, like what is Hagar like? Is she Galran? I don't know. There's probably an answer to that, but there's definitely always female Galran. That's true. So this would be a really interesting take on that. Well, if Keith's mom is the Galran one, which we address in episode 9, and Keith's like, so yeah, I
would have called the. I can't remember his name, but he stowed aboard the ship back in like episode 7. It was the very first Blade of Mamura that we met.
Ulas,
yeah. Before we saw his face, I would have called him as being female. So I've given up being able to predict the gender of people based on their body form. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean they're all aliens, so you shouldn't be able to tell, I guess. But it's they're anthropomorphic aliens. But yeah, it's been definitely disappointing in terms of the female side of like characters on the show. There hasn't been any, I would say. I think there's like literal 0 female characters that have recurred beyond one episode, beyond like Pigeon Lore. But so we'll see if that pays off. But yeah, let's get into Belly of the Weblum. So I think the biggest plot thing in either of these episodes is like the first 5 minutes of this episode, where I guess we come up with just our plan for the rest of the season. It involves splitting up again, so I guess we get to designate characters into episodes like in the beginning of the season. Jeff, do you want to take a stab at explaining their plan to us? I think it's very vague and it was a little bit hard to follow.
So yeah, and it seems like, I don't know, if they obviously it's not going to work out the way they say, but like
bold prediction.
Somehow we now have Galran computer viruses. This is a thing they just made up. Yeah. I mean, I dig it, and I buy it as a concept, but it's just something completely new we haven't heard of before. So see how that works. And then they're going to suck it into a wormhole, so that's kind of cool. Although I wonder, because we know that ship can travel at light speed anyways, because it's tracked them, all over the place. So I'm wondering why they don't just have their computer virus take over its internal systems and have it go somewhere on its own. I don't know. We will see. But I did enjoy the fact that we have this very obvious time skip here. We don't see Allura blowing up at Keith. Obviously, there's been some talk that we're not privy to, that we're going to have some flashbacks to later on. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. In terms of this plan, they give some kind of, it's just this very vague plan. I guess this is what we're doing, but then it's like, okay, in order to do this, we need to just split up, and they need to get the, Skaltrite, from the Weblum, and then, I guess they say what the other 3 are doing, but I didn't.
I'm pretty sure they didn't, because like I watched episode 10. I was like, "What are we doing?"
Right? No, they didn't explain. Yeah.
Yeah. Then they don't really say it in episode 10 either. Yeah.
No, I'm like, "What are we doing?" It was very confusing. Like that's probably like my biggest complaint with episode 10 is other than I have some complaints about Slav. and we'll see about it.
He's perfect. Come on.
We're
Come
going to
on.
talk about it.
Okay.
I mean, I like Slav, but I have some issues we're going to discuss.
No, I have to protect. I have to protect my child, except he's like an old scientist. But yeah, that's okay. But
Your uncle.
Yeah, my
like there's no explanation for what they're doing, and I was very confused. We started the episode, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, no, it didn't. They might have mentioned it briefly. I don't remember. But...
They didn't. Like they went on this like silent montage of them like waving as everyone left. And I was like, "Did you just decide not to tell us?"
Yeah.
Oh, that montage. Okay, so when Keith and Hunk go into the yellow line, at first I'm like, wait. Why is Keith not in his own line? Did Allura like revoke his paladinship off screen? Because he's all sad and everything, but then we see everyone else go into the black or the blue line, and so okay, I guess we're just not all using our own lines today.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll conserve the line travel, but
and like lion
and what
and like the whole thing with the black lion, like even though like he's like Shiro has the stronger bond, like just in case. Just
in case. They'd probably be dead, but I don't know. That resolved very quickly anyways, we discussed last time. So, so we go to the Weblum. We have the whole thing with, the Quran's, video, is like breaking up and like it's like faded.
It's young Quran.
Yeah, it's the young Quran as we saw in episode 1. That was great. I love, this concept of like, this is this 10,000-year-old video file and it's degraded over time, much like a like film would over like physical film would over 100 years. Do you want to fact check this, Jeff? Do you think this is a thing that could happen?
It depends on the storage medium. I mean, for sure. Like we have, you store things on magnetic tape and the magnetic poles will, sort of drift over time. You store them on optical media and the underlying structures will degrade. I think the best material we have is archival DVDs like M discs, and they last for apparently like 10,000 years or 1,000 years or some ridiculous number. No way they can prove that, but they must do some sort of tests. And I think it's basically like optical etching.
Yeah.
There's also there's other forms of stuff, but over a scale of 10,000 years, any digital medium that we know about would probably not survive.
What I love about this concept is just, this is like a reminder of how far in the future this is, I guess. This is just something that's, so completely foreign to us, like having something digital last, remotely that long. It's just such an absurd concept.
On the sci-fi side, this is a very Star Wars concept. Like we have this with holocrons.
I mean, okay. Elaborate on the holocrons.
So like they're like little like it's like pieces of Jedi or Sith knowledge, and like in Star Wars in a galaxy like a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and you're like they have lightsabers. What the heck? And so when you even go like this is kind of like almost it's not past lore, but it's like in like extended universe that is accepted as canon, like in Knights of the Old Republic and like the Old Republic. Like there are these like there's this. There are these ancient pieces of technology, and like you can get information from them. They're like holograms, and like they like oftentimes like they can be messed up, but they're like ancient Jedi things, and they're like
interesting.
They're like holograms. So sometimes they like glitch out and stuff, and they can be corrupted and tampered with.
Interesting.
So it's like I was familiar with this from like my knowledge of like Star Wars stuff. So it's neat stuff. Like it's always really interesting.
The other thing this reminded me of Star Wars wise was I'll take this version of old video files over the Rogue One, just like having to physically store all of your things in this one location type thing.
With a robot arm.
With a robot arm. Like really that's how we're gonna retrieve it? I like Koran just like emailing it better. Like that I think that makes more sense. I guess Star Wars is a long time ago and this is a long time in the future, so it makes sense that they have a better technology here. But
well, there's flash drives in Voltron. We've seen it like twice now.
Yeah, like a literal thumb drive. Get it?
Yeah, literal.
Okay, yeah. It's interesting. We need an analysis of the technology here, much like we have a breakdown of like the timing units from that one episode.
Also,
they're my fave.
For the record, I never had a problem with the Star Wars stuff because we do that today for high density data storage. We use magnetic tapes. Like there is nothing we have that beats magnetic tapes. Blu-rays come close, but not really. So if you're doing a lot of offline storage, then magnetic tapes, and then we have those.
This is another podcast. Yeah.
Okay.
We also don't have lightsabers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We'll see. Well, I've actually heard this argument on, I think, a podcast before, so we could. Anyway, let's get back to the Weblum here. So I visually, the Weblum outside, super interesting. It's also like fire and his lasers. And,
very good sound design once again.
Drops the bass.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Any highlights from any things visually or function wise inside the Weblum that we encounter?
The bloodstream was pretty cool when
I
Hunk
really
got
liked
sucked
that. It was cool, to watch, and it was interesting, and also they did the where he got stuck thing again, but I don't know, it worked. It was it was just really interesting. I mean, it did feel a little bit different than the normal What was interesting about this, going into the body thing, is even in Rick and Morty, and of course, Magic School Bus and Osmosis Jones, this was actually an alien creature. This wasn't a person. So I think just overall, it's more visually interesting in the several stomachs, and the whole the whatever that kept fighting them that wanted to digest them or whatever. Those are really neat, and the way they moved.
Yeah, I lost.
How they agglomerate and then the arms out.
Yeah, them coming together at some point that became a little hard to track for me, but it was kind of interesting looking. Yeah. So all that, there's a lot of that type of stuff. They have to activate the thing to get to collect the discs, I guess.
Oh, and the ship when it was stuck in the. That was really cool. I thought, when the ship was stuck.
Oh, when the Galran's ship was stuck there. Yeah, I thought that was pretty neat. So let's talk about this Galran random person. Really doesn't pay off at all here.
No,
they just take one of the things and that's it.
I was shocked they were alive.
Yeah, how are you
how
alive
long have
still?
you been here?
Yeah, I agree.
I was confused.
It seemed like Keith knew that
that's what really Keith's hold on. I'm Keith, you don't know. I'm confused. What are you doing? Do you have Galra Spidey sense now? I don't understand.
Yeah.
The thing is, at the end, he says, I can't remember the exact line, but he's let him go. There's no way that much of whatever it is can stop our plans.
And it was
except
okay.
Now, if you're assuming that he's with Zarkon, and you know that he knows that you're after this huge amount of this stuff, why would you let Zarkon know what you're up to? Go stop him.
Yeah, at the end, is this the episode where they're it doesn't matter?
Right.
Yeah, I think it does matter. Yeah, I agree. So we'll see any predictions. So we have the female prediction. Any other predictions for this person? Because they have to pay off, or else this would be the stupidest narrative thing ever.
I think they're going to come back, and I think they're actually going to be an ally. And even though the Galra are evil or whatever, not necessarily across the board, but if they serve Zarkon, typically, but I also the Repid Saw, I don't know, we haven't talked about it a lot, or it's not necessarily super there, but I kind of feel the Galra are kind of they kind of have this honor system, kind of they're just very much the the typical war race, and they have this military hierarchy, and I would kind of think that this Galran would have been okay, I owe this dude a solid, so I feel
probably why I didn't kill him today.
Yeah, and I don't know, even though we didn't see the Galran's face, just a lot of the body language, I feel the Galran's going to come back, and I think they're going to, help in a really, probably neat, unexpected way. Maybe kind of, last minute. It might be a little annoying. We'll have to see how it happens. I don't think it'll be necessarily, that word that I can't say, that Dylan also can't say.
I don't know what word we're talking about, but
Deus Ex Machina.
yeah, there you go. So we'll see if that happens. It would. There's a big build up if that would happen. If they were to come and save the day. I'm trying to think
if he turned into a recurring Boba Fett character.
I was about to mention Boba Fett actually. Yeah.
Yes.
That was because we're in a Star Wars.
And be a girl. Oh yes.
Yeah. No, I was thinking. Yeah, I was thinking there'd be some sort of anti-hero female character this season, and they really haven't had it yet. It's just kind of shocking to me that we've had no recurring females. That's I feel like this has to pay off here with that.
We had one last season that I recall. The Balmurin.
Yeah, the Balmurin girl. Yeah. But yeah, that you can. This season, I guess, has had more people. We've had we have the leaders of the The Order of the whatever.
Remora?
Yeah, we see him and his deputy are in this episode too in the beginning and stuff like that. So there's some people who are around, but yeah, I guess Witch Hagar too would be the third. But yeah, so we'll see what happens with them. I'm trying to think if this character has any narrative value on its own if they don't come back this season. I guess the purpose in this episode is for Keith exploring his Galran side, right?
Right.
So it didn't really work that much for me. Like, I didn't get anything out of that. It just prompted hunk jokes, but the hunk jokes were happening even before this, so I don't really know what the purpose is unless this character comes back, I guess.
I think they're gonna come back. Like, I can't see this being like a one-off thing.
Yeah. So we'll see about that. Hopefully learn pretty soon. Yeah, mention just the I think some of our best hunk humor so far this season is the about Keith's Galran side. It's like, was that a joke? Galran Keith's more funny, and then Galran Keith is more human.
Yeah, that was really funny.
And then Keith's like, I didn't turn Galran, you know. So I really like that aspect of it. I think that's really a good way to explore this development with Keith through the lens of hunk here.
The cracked a joke one just really like slayed me. Like, that was so funny. And then I was also like, yeah, Keith doesn't tell jokes. This is solid. Like, that's always fun.
I think this is my, I think this is the episode to me in the entire series where Keith was the most sympathetic. This one.
Yes, no, it's like, I like Keith now. And like, you know, last season I'd have been like, nope, Keith's not a person.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'll go that far. It's just one episode. We'll see, but this is the right track for Keith.
Well, no, I mean, I've been really loving Keith this season. I'm really jumping ship. Like, I'm really about Keith, and I'm just really happy.
Jumping onto the Keith ship, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just liking like all of the characters right now. Like, they're all, I feel like, in good places, and I really like them all. I think Hunk can have some more development, but I'm really happy with everyone so far.
Yeah, we can all comment on that next episode, I guess, but because we have more characters to talk about their arcs. Yeah, this is our fourth major Keith episode this season. Yeah. We had the one with
in comparison to 0 last season.
Yeah, we had like the one with Allura. We had the Blade of Malmuro. This one, maybe another one. I don't even know. But yeah, with this, it's obviously a big step with Keith here. So what do we think of Hunk in this episode? Hunk gets to show off his heroic side. He's probably him along with Lance are the really underdeveloped characters this season specifically. So I think this is obviously much needed for him. But he comes across well here, even if there's not necessarily anything new about him.
Yeah, I think he could do with some more deep character development, but as far as giving him more stuff to do, he's cool. Yeah,
and I guess the new thing, I like that he, Hunk's go-to move with Hunk is so often like, I don't want to do this, it's dangerous, and then he like goes for it here. Like, this is, I think, our bravest Hunk that we've seen.
Well, they did this, I think earlier in the episode and in the previous episode with Hunk, what I really like is, they kind of do this casual, remember Hunk's a genius. Like, remember they all went to school and like they all went to like, and
yeah, which I absolutely don't remember, but yeah.
Right. And like, they've done this several times. Like, well, Hunk will just say something and everyone's like, what? Like, normally Lance is like, what? What did you just say? And like, I'm really liking how they keep bringing that up, and they're doing it a lot more this season than they did last season. Like, Hunk really like knows his stuff, and that was also displayed in this episode. Not like he figured it out, and then it's just, like, I'm really enjoying that side of Hunk, and they're exploring it a lot more. Like, they're reminding us, like, yeah, Hunk's kind of goofy, but, like, he's not an idiot. Like, Hunk's actually really, he knows his stuff, and they all have specialized skills from when they went to school.
Yeah, they called him a genius this episode, and I was like, I guess he's a good engineer, right? Like, or is he like an actual genius? Are they being sarcastic? Is he like are they exaggerating? Like, I don't even remember.
I don't think they are, especially like, you know, when multiple times when there's been engine trouble, like either with the castle in last season and with the Tajirians, like, it's like, Hunk, like, you got to go like fix stuff, man. Like, it's up to you.
Yeah. Definitely true. So we'll see if we get some major Hunk brain blasts in the next 3 episodes. The last thing this episode was the Commander Thrace investigation. Some druid, I guess, is assigned to follow him.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
So this kind of throws off. I don't know, because I'm trying to reconcile what's happening here with what's happening last episode when Hagar was tricked apparently. And I scrutinized that dialogue to see what Hagar said, and she said, as soon as he denied having any knowledge of anything, like, I serve the Galra and whatever, she's like, you will help us root out this traitor. and so he will not threaten our reign. And now, taking that and trying to, take something interesting with it. What if she was like, this traitor is Zarkon? Because there's definitely a rift growing between them, and the reign of the Druids could be threatened.
Ooh.
So are we headed towards Hagar Zarkon civil war?
Definitely. Probably. No, I mean, yeah.
There's actually one scene with Zarkon being charged up and the Druids are like tiring out. We kind of skipped over that scene.
And just like takes one out.
Yeah. Well, no, that happened the next episode, 10.
Yeah, they have the charging thing like both episodes, so I just was going to concentrate on
I mixed them up. It's a blur.
They've been recurring these Archon stuff over every episode, very much like a D plot thing type thing, and it's
And I really enjoy how methodical and slow they're building up to this thing, because it's going to pay off big, I feel like.
The only thing that makes me think that there's a rift between Hagar and Zarkon was something either 9 or 10 where one of them gets mad at the other one. Like there's a brief moment here in one of these two.
Well,
episodes.
he's also like, remember who you serve.
Right? Yeah. There's that. That's the only thing I can remember. So I feel
that's
like
the big one.
I feel like I need a little more build up for that.
Yeah. Well, I think it will have some of the next couple episodes. But my feeling with these, go on.
Well, Hagar's sketchy enough that you don't actually have to have that much build-up. Like, she's clearly just the sketchiest. So, like, she's very much that, like, you don't know what she's doing, and she's very conniving. So, I mean, there is build-up, I think, and we're definitely getting there. But, like, she's also, like, we don't have to have a ton, because, like, she's super sketchy. Like, she's just one of those characters where it's, like, you just don't trust her. It's like when Azula does stuff. You're like, you don't know what she's gonna do. She's crazy. Like, she's just evil.
I guess I agree. I agree with that she's sketchy. I guess I'll disagree overall here because I think my, the number one, lens I view Hagar with is, her deference to Zarkon. Like, I think that's what I would say is her number one character trait in my mind. So I think it's going to take, I guess I need more evidence here.
I think that's fading. I think that's what Jeff's the deference is been fading all season.
And I saw that this one scene, but it's still like her primary trait in my head. So I think it's like the Ty Lee betrayal. Like you need, it was like Ty Lee's main thing, I feel like this is a great comparison because next, episode is our prison escape one. But,
yes.
Ty Lee's like introduced with her fealty towards Azula. And I think there's a similar thing going on with Hagar. Except Ty Lee was like more of a developed character and we saw her interact and she was more of like a good person. So then it made a little more sense there. But there's still people at the time who were shocked by this and like this is, they're like, I don't understand this and stuff like that. So,
it feels like with Hagar, I feel like there's one other character trait that could be a problem is that she really enjoys her toys, like playing with Shiro and making these big machines. And I feel like her deference to Zarkon only goes insofar as he is able to supply her with the means to keep playing with stuff.
Interesting. Yeah.
And he's the most powerful being in like the universe. So,
right.
it's kind of like power seeks power.
Yeah.
However, she's like also concerned with the state of security, right? And he's like blowing it off like, oh, who cares?
Just charge me up.
And so now she's like, well, okay, if you're not concerned about this, how are we going to trust you to keep our means of production going on? So might have to jump ship.
Yeah, interesting takes. Yeah, that is true, and I think that'll be interesting to see how it pays out. But obviously also May with the thing, but the May had the Zuko element as well. So it's more. I don't know if we have a Hagar love interest, but So either one is either of them becoming sympathetic, like are either of them going to be some semblance of good guys at some point in the series?
Hagar, I think it's really hard. It's really hard, I think, at this point to like do anything with Zarkon in that like. Even when we've had this moment where we know Zarkon and Alfor, like we're friends, like Zarkon, they've done very little to make Zarkon anything more than one dimensional. Like he is just very much the Ozai, like power hungry, and he's getting more power hungry. So unless we go to this kind of like hits rock bottom and then like kind of maybe has some development from there, it's really hard to imagine Zarkon doing anything like that. Like he's very much just like the evil, like
right, he might needs to be more of a Sozin than a
Ozai.
Ozai.
Exactly.
I think for me, I think the most interesting thing they could possibly do with this potential plot is actually to have Hagar become the main villain of the series and to have Zarkon become some sort of sympathetic force.
I would agree with
similar to another Netflix show that I won't name for spoilers.
Okay, yeah. I think this would be like a big shift from the original. I mean, we don't have Justin here to fact check on this, but the original Voltron's mythology, so that'd be interesting. But I think this is like, I don't know, nothing they're doing with Zarkon is super engaging as a main villain. We'll see. It's interesting. I don't know if they'll address those the last 3 episodes. I'm interested to see. Anyway, wrapping up episode 9 overall. Delaney, episode 9.
It was really interesting. It was like gorgeous. And then I don't know, for me the character interactions between Hunk and Keith and like this mysterious Galran who like you didn't see their face and like I don't know, all of that also that stuff like really interests me, like the very silent, like all of the like everything between Keith and the Galran is interesting, and it's just and we'll talk more about episode 10 and like why I like episode 9 like more, but
okay.
Like, it was good.
Good. Jeff?
Visually awesome. It was fun to watch these guys go through and, you know, explore the internals, but I was more invested in the D plot on Zarkon's ship as usual in these episodes because it was a lot more interesting plot development there, I felt.
Interesting. I'm usually not super into when we're checking in on Zarkon, but I'd like Thrace to be more of a person. Anyway,
yes.
Yeah, 9 visually interesting, wasn't crazy about it. So let's talk about Escape from Beta Traz.
Prisons have to end in Z's. Like they have to have a Z in them.
Yeah, why are we having Alcatraz ripoff here?
Azkaban, like there has to be a Z.
This is like seemingly the easiest high security prison to break into of all time.
Oh yeah, definitely, 100%.
Wasn't that hard for?
Dude, like there's like robots. And
yeah, there's
then,
like
this
like
awful
2.
warden.
There's like one person guarding this prison.
Like this is worst.
Anyway,
like, you have like the Galran Hulk, or no, he's Bane. It's like the Galran Bane.
Yeah.
Like crazy. It's just ridiculous.
So more detailed thoughts on episode 10, Delaney.
Okay, so my child is doing things. I love my child. When Pidge does things, I'm just so happy. Pidge is the best. I was really irritated because like it was so obvious early on that it was a pet, and I got so irritated about Laika and like, well, not like, I mean, Laika was cute. It was fine and going, yup, like that was so great. But like Lance, like I was just so irritated. Like I knew like when it happened, I was like, oh my god, we're gonna do this whole, and like it just went so long, and I got so irritated. And then and we'll talk about Slav more. I like Slav, but I also have issues with Slav because of some of the things, like, I feel like they're playing some of the things that he says as jokes, and it's irritating as someone with OCD that what he's doing is, like, they're kind of playing it a little bit for laughs. Granted, it also makes sense, and he's a very archetype character in that he had, you know, he sees, it's very much like in the third Men in Black movie. I know no one's seen that movie, but like when you have this, like you can see alternate, you know, futures, and like, you know, you basically go crazy because you can like imagine everything, and like that makes sense. So like it makes sense, and I'm okay with it. But it's like it was also it's how I'll have to see how they play it from then on, because I was getting a little irritated about it. Because also like a lot of my compulsions have to do with superstitions, and like they were doing that in like some of it rubbed me the wrong way, but. We also finally get payoff on Pidge and Matt. Like, thank you. I mean, this isn't going to get resolved this season at all, but at least we had some movement on it.
Yeah, so, I lost everything you said after the Men in Black 3 reference. I was just too stunned that you pulled that out too.
Well, it's very. I mean, it's he's the same character as
I've seen that movie. I remember literal zero from anyway.
No, like it's the whatever.
Wait, nope. I remember the
like the reason it happens. Like they have to get like they're at like the ballpark. Like it's the alien dude. Like it's literally Slav. It's the same character.
Yeah, no memory of that. I remember the Pitbull song that plays in the credits. That's what I'm. Okay. Anyway, Jeff, overall thoughts on episode 10.
Some interesting physics going on. Their take on it. Like worst designed prison. I don't know. Also. I was like, wait a minute. Keith is using his sonic gun in space. Like, come on, guys, you're so close. But I don't know. It was fun. It was fun to watch I did enjoy the Pidge payoff slowly, and I did enjoy like we see the warden's like his shoulder arm things. We see that the entire episode, no idea what they are, and then finally it was ooh, that's cool. So
yeah, that payoff was good. Yeah. I think as we were learning over the course of this podcast series that, trying to analyze, Voltron for real science is not working. Like,
No.
this is not
that's
happening.
fun.
It's better. I think it was better in episode 8 than, now, but yeah, I agree. I actually am more of a fan of this one than the average episode this season. I was really not into it in the beginning because it didn't make any sense. Like, what are we doing? We didn't set this up and it was kind of slow. I also didn't really like 9, so we're coming off of that. But this episode got to me eventually. I think we did really good, the best stuff with Lance that we've done this season. Some good pitch stuff. And I love Slav, my favorite minor character this season. So let's get into him. And that's my primary thing I want to talk about from this episode is Slav. So, Slav, hard to pin down what they're doing with him. So we have this, like, is he really seeing alternate possibilities? Is he, is this like a superpower? Is this, just that he's a genius and he can calculate the probabilities? But I feel like that's contradicted by some things he says. Is a large part of this OCD and mental illness, or is it supposed to be more of a superpower or some sort of, consequence of, like high intellect, or is it a combination of them? I think it's supposed to be a combination of a lot of these things.
I think so. I'm fine with that aspect of it. It's just like how they play it in a few places I'm not okay with. So depending on how we go from it, like going forward, like, I might be more okay. Like, I like Slav. Like, I can relate to Slav a lot. Like, I'm like, I feel you, Slav. Me too. But it also did, like, I'm nervous about how we're going to move forward. There were a few spots in the episode where I was like, this isn't okay. Like, particularly the Shiro and Slav arguing in a few places. That was, like, very irritating to me. But, like, I think Slav's definitely interesting. And, like, definitely, like, most interesting, I think, side character we've, like, or, like, you know, random alien we've picked up, like, in the series.
Right. So I think your points are valid on Slav, and let's drill into that for a second. More than a second. It's a good topic, but, I think that the problem with Slav, from kind of the social progressive standpoint is that they're explicitly getting into some eccentricities that, would definitely fall within the OCD or some other type of mental illness range. And, like the possibilities of the future thing is one thing, you know, that's who even knows what they're doing there. But then,
right.
But he's like, stepping on the grate and, over the puddle and stuff like that. And
the blanket.
And the blanket especially. That's the biggest one. Yeah. Like,
yeah.
Cause that had no like probability bearing, I would say.
Right. No, it was just like, he had to have it his way.
Yeah. And I think there's something to be said about, giving a character such a clear, like, there's something to be said about, like, OCD representation to a certain extent. Like,
well, I mean, it's great. Like, there's two things. There's, like, you know, and I can contrast this with the movie Split. So you have.
Have you seen Split?
No, but like
okay.
Everything about it is like, that's why I'm not going to go see it.
I didn't know.
Also,
that's not a movie that exists in our canon of ignoring the director, but yeah.
But
okay.
So you have like having representation and like dealing with it and talking about it like in a progressive and supportive and like positive way, you know, like. I mean, obviously, like, you know, like I am someone with OCD, and no, it's not fun, and it's not a good thing to have, but like you also have to like not stigmatize it, and also not make it a joke, like, oh, I like my things really neat. Like, that's being organized is not the same thing as having compulsions and being OCD. Granted, that can be a way it can manifest, but there's like that having like, you know, positive representation versus. We're going to have a character who's OCD and make fun of them the whole time for having OCD. And I'm a little I'm a little concerned that we're going more the second route, but we'll have to see. Like those are the two options we have. And like, I mean, we're definitely not going to ignore it. There are very strong aspects clearly of Slav's personality and like who Slav is. And, you know, I'm just a little concerned. Like those are the worries.
I definitely feel that. This is also something I have some form of, and it's Slav. I think this is such a Voltron portrayal of something progressive. Like, it's not clearly bad. because Slav is like heroic at the end and seems like a real
It's
person.
kind of like Pidge, like we don't know what's
Right,
going
no,
on.
it's exactly like the Pidge stuff in
literally the
season
same
1.
thing.
Like they give enough that it's just not overtly terrible or like ableist or whatever. Like Slav, I think it's like the purpose of this character is not to make fun of him. Like Slav does things and is obviously very smart and seems to be a real person. That being said, we also kind of make fun of Slav, and it seems like we're supposed to see it through the lens of Shiro at various points. So, and Slav's supposed to be like abnormal, and that's funny, and his compulsions are funny. So that's the bad part, right? That being,
and we're supposed to be irritated with Slav. Like, the whole point of watching it is like you're supposed to be like Shiro, and you're like, oh my god, just walk. Like, come on. Like, you're like, we just need to leave, and like that's not okay.
Yeah, I think that was the lens of it a few times. Yeah, I was not irritated by Slav. I was thoroughly entertained.
No, I was like Slav's like quality stuff.
I was
also,
like
Slav's arms just amuse me. Do you know
Slav's elaborate.
Like Slav's character design, like he has like is it arms? I don't know. Like maybe like he's just. Like, his character design is just, I love him. Like, I want to, like, put him in my pocket and carry him around.
Oh, yeah, like weird slug guy? Yeah.
Yeah, and, like, Pidge. I just want to carry them both around with me all the time.
Where's the Slav plushie? Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say, but and my favorite parts of Slav were the stuff they do with, because I feel like our main complaints with the OCD stuff is the blanket, the compulsion stuff. I feel like there's this other side to Slav which complicates matters further, which is the really interesting kind of seeing the future, seeing the different many worlds interpretation worlds types things, which is kind of this for me a super interesting take on kind of this weird genius type figure, like just terrified of things because he can see different.
He knows too much.
Different realities, like he knows too much. And I think my interpretation of this character is probably that he doesn't actually see different infinite realms. Like in the beginning, he's like, there's a 98 and 300ths chance that I'm gonna die in a prison break. So like that's not necessarily seeing anything. He's just trying to calculate the right. Or he could have seen all of the ones and came up with that probability. But then he talks about some like learning to swim in this reality, and he doesn't know which reality it is, right?
Yeah, that's the one I feel like that's the biggest hint that like maybe he really does, he can really see like different realities.
Yeah, I think that was supposed to be just a sign that he's in his head too much. Like,
right, that also could have just been like when he's having a panic attack and he's like, I don't know. Yeah,
like he just is losing track of the current situation because he's thinking too much about the different possibilities, right? So I think I think that's I'd be surprised if this character like saw many worlds like that. That's not really what Voltron's approaching.
I'm more interested in him being like a polymath. That's what I'm more interested in. Like him having some sort of like innate kind of like magical ability doesn't interest me as much as like having a polymath character or something like that. Like that'd be like, you know, another character like Pidge. It's like a Pidge is like, teach me things.
Yeah. I loved Slav's lucky range of terahertz. I thought that was really good.
That's cute. That's good stuff.
Yeah, I feel that. And the swim in the reality, I thought that was good. The best, I think the best Slav thing was like, where's your second robot arm? Like that
was so good. And it was like the probability of us like goes from like totally doomed to like highly unlikely.
Yeah, it would go 300% from totally doomed to highly unlikely. That was maybe one of my favorite lines of the season. I really love that. And I love like mocking Shiro for his robot arm. That's so good. I like Shiro, but I'd love some more mocking of Shiro. That's my
You gotta mock Space Dad. You gotta.
It's too serious. And then Slav has his great moment with opening the lock at the end, much like Steven in recent Steven Universe episodes.
In the most serious look on his face when he did it.
Yeah, no, clearly doing it on purpose and like with purpose and with intent and stuff. And so I really like that. Jeff, any takes on Slav not discussed?
Well, I wanted to give a brief primer on the multiverse stuff because it's a a concept that comes up quite a bit in fiction, but it's useful to think about what the physicists are actually thinking about because the writers have read about it, I'm sure. So there's several different types of multiverse theory, and it seems like Slav's interpretation is level 3, which is the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics. in contrast, there's the most basic form, which is level 1, where if you think of the universe as just being so huge, the idea goes that since it's infinite in size, there is a pocket of space somewhere else that is identical to ours. Just it has to be because it's infinite. And this guy estimates that there's a volume of space identical to ours about 10 to the 10 to the 115 meters away from us, like really, really far away. But and it's far enough away that actually, because the universe is expanding, it's actually going away from us faster than the speed of light. So there's no way we'll ever be able to meet it, but it's out there. That's multiverse level 1, where everything is in our universe. Level 3 is where we get into quantum mechanics. And if you ever heard of the double slit experiment, this is where you send an electron through a pair of slits, and it appears that it's interfering with itself. It's actually going through both, or a photon rather. It's going through both slits and creating a wave-like pattern on the back plate, and it's interesting. And then when you actually observe it and look at which slot it's going through, it stops interfering with itself and just it goes through one or the other. And so the idea goes that where it decided somehow to go through one slit or the other is a quantum observable event, and at that point the entire universe would fork, and you'd have two different universes, one where it went left and one where it went right. This does not mean that every decision comes out to fork. Like, for example, in the Community episode where you're tossing dice and it comes down in one of 6 different configurations, resulting in 6 different universes, because the result of the roll is entirely determined on the previous state, like who's tossing it and how it flips in the air. You can sort of backtrack and figure out how it'll land based on how it started. So it's not truly random the way it lands, but if it were a quantum observable event, then yeah, that would create 6 different forks of the universe. So there you go.
Yeah, we'll see if we get into this type of stuff. It's very interesting. I recently played the visual novel game Steins Gate, which also has an anime adaptation. Gets into a lot of this stuff. Highly recommend for. I think you'd like it, Jeff. Actually, and a lot
I watched the anime.
Oh, cool. Yeah. The game is on Steam now too. But yeah, definitely get a lot of this stuff, and also Doctor Who gets in a lot. Anyway. Yep.
And in the various comic books, like DC and Marvel have differing opinions on the multiverse.
Yeah, and I don't think that we'll do this, but we'll see. We'll see if Voltron. I think it'd be an interesting direction to take, is to just take off, like from like Voltron to start doing crazy things with world lines and stuff. I think that'd be cool. But we'll see. Well, so last thing with Slav is like, what's Slav's purpose? Why are we freeing Slav? I think that's
okay. There's also that really weird scene where, like, what's his face? What's his name? The warden dude. He's like, I'm like, we're like gonna, like, he says something like really like dramatic and cruel, and he's like, it looks like he's like sucking somebody's brains out, right?
Right.
And so I'm like, what? And so like, that was really confusing, especially when, like, at first it was like, oh, there's 2 people, and then it's like, no, it's a dog, like it's a pet, it's an alien dog.
Yeah, we don't address that again. I guess he's trying to like take the Slav's intelligence. Is that what's happening? Or like his
ideas, like that kind, like, you know, like thoughts. I don't know, like, or maybe like, or if Slav can actually see different futures and like alternate realities, then they could use that information to, say, predict what the Paladins are going to do, or maybe that's why they've stayed in power for so long, because they can like predict. Like, they know they know, like, every possibility.
So if Slav actually can see different world lines,
they have, like, it's like the ultimate power. Like, they can see anything coming.
Yeah, using world lines in honor of Steins Gate. But yeah, they can see yeah, that'd be interesting.
Seems like he's more, I don't know, it seems like he could be more of an engineer type thing.
Well, kind of like weapons. I also got that vibe.
Yeah, I definitely think that I felt like this is another Rogue One reference. Slav is like the Jyn Erso's dad. I feel like we could be doing that.
He's like an Oppenheimer. Like, it's like, oh, we can use you to make like you know terrifying weapons for like the Galran Empire.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like Slav's like actually built. I mean, I guess they did. They actually, JK, they did the Jyn Erso's dad thing in episode 4, like literally. So, but they subverted that, I guess. But Yeah, but it doesn't seem like Slav's actually building anything. It's more just like I guess Slav would be completely uncooperative, so we just have to like force the smarts out of him, maybe.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, well, hopefully we'll see this character next episode and we can continue the discussion on Slav. We have not yet talked about Laika, the pet Yapper.
So cute.
Who you got? Do you want Laika or who's Boomy's pet whatever in the not Boomju, but like the
oh my
Avatar
god,
one.
why can't I remember its name?
Yeah. Fluffy something, right?
It's
Floppy.
Flopsies. Yeah.
Flopsy.
Yeah, Flopsy. Who you got? Laika or Flopsy?
I mean, I think Laika's cuter, and the fact that it goes yup is adorable.
Yeah. This is... I think this is their best plotline this season. Okay, let me defend that. The stupid Yapper dog.
This is an interesting Dylan opinion. I feel like this is like the Horcrux.
No. This is I actually have good analysis for this. This is the best possible thing to do with the Lance character. This is so perfect for Lance's narcissism, is to have just to make this thing that Lance is like, oh yeah, Lance just only ever thinks to ask it yes questions because Lance is like leading the conversation. And this is like bringing Lance down the peg in like the most entertaining way. And like, it's not even like, and I like love Lance, and this isn't even like mean to Lance, like this plot line. It's like pretty fun. But this wouldn't have worked on anyone except Lance. Lance is the only one who's like, so it's not just stupid, but like so self-interested enough that they would just never realize this because Lance just wants to be talking the entire time. Yeah. And hopefully like they do something with this and Lance realizing that, but this only works because Lance is so self-involved that he's just the one leading the conversation and just asking yes questions the entire time and having like this yes man. So the extent that they doesn't realize that it's not actually talking with him. Like, I really love this with the Lance character. Like, Lance, before this episode, this season had nothing. Like, I really think they didn't do anything with Lance interesting. Like, Lance reverted to this, hey ladies, like type character. Like, Lance was my favorite last season and quickly did not become my favorite this season just because they haven't really done anything with him. But I think this episode is really good for Lance. We had this, Yapper plot, and we also had this one of the best scenes I think of the season of Lance is like, I don't have a thing. Like everyone else is a thing. I don't have a thing. And I don't know why sharpshooting needs to be his thing, but at least it was something, I guess. Like I think that was a really great moment for Lance. The Yapper plotline is really great for Lance. Very, very good Lance episode.
I really enjoyed also how like the, at some point, like when it's appropriate for the Yapper to, be sad and remorseful or whatever. He's like, yep.
Yeah, yep.
So
that was really good.
The voice acting on the Yapper.
Yeah.
But like what I think is like what's really interesting about the Yapper is like we make Korra and Avatar references constantly, and like we have to we gotta, and this is also very this is a plot that happens all the time. You have like a character and they're talking to an inanimate object, or very often an animal that doesn't speak. Like Zuko's talking to the frog, except it's not really a frog. Nothing's just a frog in Avatar unless it's like a bear, unless it's Bosco. But we had that. That's very we have that in like all the time. Like you have a character talking to an animal, and like why aren't you talking to me? But this is like so much better. Like it says yup. Like this is just like the perfect. I feel like we've been heading this way for so long with like this plot line of having someone talk to an animal. We can get to the point where we have an animal that goes yup. Yeah,
it's a really interesting take on this trope. Yeah, I agree.
Like it's so cute. And like again, like with Jeff, like yup, like all the different ways it said yup was just so amusing. And like of course, and like Lance is like one not really paying attention. He's just so full of himself, and he's like, yeah, I rescued you. But then, and also like, of course you're agreeing with me. You're a genius, and I'm also a genius. And then the fact that it like changes its yups, like it's just like, and like obviously Lance fell for that because like he's dumb, but it's so great. Like it was amazing.
Yeah. I think this plot. Yep. I think this plot plays out. Yeah. If we need to get the soundboard going to add that there, and then just say that after everything. Yeah. That would be the new
just for that one. That and like wubba lubba dub dub.
Yeah, we had that one. Yeah. I think this is like a really well done, complete plot, and they've kind of struggled with like plots going from start to finish. And, kudos to, writer Mitch Iverson, writing assistant who wrote this episode. is the team on that. I think this is also a very good Pidge episode. Now, here's my take on Pidge this season.
Child.
I think Pidge is the most improved character of the season, along with Keith.
Def, 100%.
Basically, I think Pidge and Keith this season have been, I promised this earlier, this talk. Pidge and Keith have, really improved. I think Shiro's stayed neutral. He was good last season. He's good this season. Although mostly uninteresting to me, but good. I think Hunk and Lance have, reverted and, they haven't had really much to do and not much interesting content. And Allura has been terrible. Their use of Allura has been awful. I think next episode will be an Allura episode, but we'll see. But they've done nothing with Allura. So, it's kind of 50-50 on their characters, but they definitely realized that the two biggest character things they needed to do going into the season were one, make Keith a person. Okay. We did that, except he's half alien, not half person. But, two is, wow, this Pidge stuff with her family is super annoying. Let's not do that all the time with Pidge anymore. Like, that's the biggest thing.
Let's make Pidge buy an 80s video game.
Yeah.
And be adorable.
Pidge has two aspects. Pidge has,
loves
robots and technology and, wants to find her family. And, loves robots is way more interesting than the wants to find family. And they completely reversed the balance this season. So now Pidge loves technology is her main attribute. And this family thing didn't come up. She had one line earlier asking, the guy, like, could you find my family? But it wasn't really in like a brooding way like it was last season. And,
it's just like casual. Every time
it was just casual. And
I gotta look it up.
Right, and here it's again casual, and this is the biggest use, but it's not unsympathetic, and it's really not fair to last season think that Pidge's obsession with finding her family in like a gruff way was unsympathetic. Like, she's allowed, obviously, and it's understandable, but it was, I feel like, unsympathetic. Like, I loved Pidge, but I just didn't care that she just kept talking about this. And
I mean, they've played it off and they've played it. It's the same thing with how they've played Allura all season. Like, that's the way they're playing it, and it's just like, why are you doing it this way?
Yeah. So I was very happy to see that they reversed course here. Like, they obviously had some self-awareness. I don't think they had feedback. I don't think season 1 had aired before they wrote this.
This is just really funny to me because, like, I think Jeff can back me up on this. I don't remember, like, I mean, it was at least 2 podcasts ago. I literally said Keith and Pidge, like, standouts this season.
No, they're clearly most improved. Yeah. It's in Pidge. This is a good Pidge episode. We see Pidge being a prime hacker here. Which is good. It's kind of annoying.
Also, literally, Pidge literally in this episode says, "I'm in," and like, I need that to become the new meme. Yeah. Like, it's not just hacker voice. It's Pidge. I'm in. Like, I need it. Like, the internet needs to do this for me. Like, please.
Yeah, I don't think Pidge hacking really goes beyond the tropey. I'll be the central location and guide you through the thing.
But Pidge actually beat up a robot, which pleased me.
Yeah, during all of it, it was good. Yeah, I agree.
And like, also the cute little like Pidge nudged the robot and was like, like, because
yes, I love Pidge. That.
Yeah,
stick around, nudge.
Yeah, good. I thought it was good. And Pidge finds her brother taken by a group of rebels. Thoughts?
They look kind of familiar to me, but I don't know why.
They look like the pirates, right? Like, I don't know.
Pirates? Is this 109?
I don't know. They looked like the weird disguises that they wore in the mall. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Oh, I got you from the Space Mall costumes. Yeah, interesting.
They just kind of look like that to me, but
not the waterbending scroll pirates.
No, not the waterbending scroll pirates.
I want the waterbending scroll pirates. Anyway, yeah, we'll see. We don't really know of any rebels, so we can't really. I mean, I've called Commander Thrace this season Zhao, so.
I mean, that's accurate.
Except he's good.
Like, he is a good Zhao.
And he's much less interesting than Zhao. I mean, there's no Zhao. There's no character in this entire show is as interesting as Zhao. Fact, TM Dylan. Okay. The last thing I want to talk about with Pidge is Pidge's look at the end with Shiro. I don't even remember the context. Shiro says like something good about happy that Pidge found the like, we'll get them back or something like that. I don't know. And then Pidge just like beams at Shiro.
Cute.
It was super cute, but I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Like, is Shiro, first of all, is Shiro Pidge's fave?
I mean, I feel like that's like 100%. And I think it's more like be my dad, Shiro.
So yeah, the Pidge's the Pidge reveal of the gender last season was to Shiro, I think.
Yes.
So we haven't really had that dynamic too much, but that was one of our good relationships from season 1.
Yeah, that was a really great dynamic that they had, like in the season.
Yeah. Shipping it?
No, it's not. No.
Yes.
No, the age. It's not okay.
Yeah.
Shiro
okay.
is her dad.
We don't know how old Pidge is, do we?
14. Yeah. No. All the ages were confirmed, like at Comic-Con, bruh.
Whatever.
Where were you?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Shiro's like 20, whatever. And,
yeah, it's not okay.
Grumble. Yeah. No, I don't want to ship it either. But I thought that was really cute.
Like it's Shiro is Pidge's dad.
Yeah, these two. This episode was my two faves. Shiro and Lance, or not Shiro. Pidge and Lance interacting, and whenever Pidge and Lance interact, I'm always like, I love I love these two interacting. I'm like, I just want to see more of them. It's like friendly, like conflict, and I love their personalities, and no, and then like, do I ship it? No, but I want to see more of the Lance and the Pidge. That's my fave from this.
The closest thing I come to shipping anything is like Shiro and Allura, and I don't even like really ship it.
No, don't even get into that. Oh, don't even. Well, I think we'll see some of that in these last 3, but
I don't even really ship it. It's just like if I had to like pick a ship, and if I had to like go down with a ship, like, and yeah, I wouldn't even go down with it. I'd like have to get off the boat, and like I'm just gonna drown away from it.
Yeah, I'd like to go. I'd like come out as very anti Shiro and Allura and Keith and Allura. Very, very anti both.
Keith and Allura is gonna happen.
I'm anti everyone in Allura, basically. Like
I think that's the fandom shipping wars right now is the
yes.
Shiro, and I just hate both of them.
I'm
like,
very
stop
terrified
this.
of
Like,
Keith and Allura. Like that's not okay. Shiro and Allura at least has cute fan art, but like
yeah, that's the thing everyone shipped coming in. But just don't do. Why would we do either of these? They're such bad ideas. Like
also just like Allura, like. Allura don't need no man. Like
yes, why would you reduce Allura to like okay, like this
like,
makes
no.
This is just it's so bad.
No one is good enough for Allura. Like period.
Like maybe Pidge, but
like exactly maybe Pidge, but even then, like I don't ship it. I just want Pidge to be like I'm your older sister, Pidge. Like
yeah, no, we haven't seen any of their interactions. We had
like that was so good. Like the literal like 30 seconds in season 1.
Yeah,
like,
the 30 seconds of them we got. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so we'll see if we get any
like come on, we had Allura and like the stupid mice, but we can't have Allura and Pidge. Like it's so irritating.
Yeah. We'll table the shipping discussion for the last 2 podcasts. Yeah, I'm very anti both of those ships, and I'm just
no
if that's what this fandom is, I'm out. Like no, I'm not interested. Anyway, quickly we ran away. I was like, okay, we'll be done in 40 minutes. Nope. This fight with the warden on these like whatever juices and his things on his neck. I thought that was really cool visually. Yeah, we talked about that. Jeff, any notes on this fight?
Not really. Cool stuff.
Yeah, it was cool stuff. Yeah, we haven't gotten many like explicit like one-on-one fight type things. I feel like in a while.
No, it's like this was like this is probably like it was a boss fight, but it wasn't like boss fight like all the like the Robo Beast.
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't a Robo Beast. Yeah,
I hate that word anyway.
Robo Beast. Yeah,
and then
Robo Beast. Yeah.
I've noticed, like, this is like the epitome of it. This is so funny to me, and I just love this. Like, I wouldn't say it's a trope, but like the fighting where like they just throw everybody into each other. They do this all the time, and it cracks me up. Like, it's so funny.
Like they have to toss like into each other.
They like threw the warden had like Pidge and Lance in his hands, and then he like tossed both of them into Shiro. Like it was like everyone just got tossed into each other. It was my favorite.
Effective strategy. I like it.
They do it. They've done it like almost every fight where it's just like been the paladins. Like this keeps like they did it when Ulas was on the ship. Like it just amuses me. Like they just get slammed into each other constantly, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, good stuff.
Their animation was a bit off. Like when he has them in his hands and look at it now, it looks like he'd have to be like 50 feet tall.
Yeah, that's
the way
fair.
They're drawn so small.
Also, the hanger, like they kind of like make the hanger bigger than like it looks like initially. I think that also might kind of be what you're talking about too.
Shrug. Okay. Last thing quickly is Jeff. Why are the druids shooting Zarkon? These two episodes?
He's trying to contact a lion. Repeatedly.
Is that what this is? This is okay.
This is just it's just the same thing, but like they don't talk.
It's just the same thing from before. Okay. And then at the end, Zarkon's armor is not ready. The subjects keep dying. I think says Hagar.
Gonna make him a roe beast. Yeah, it's
Hagar. What are we doing there? Speculation.
Well, okay. So I actually picked up on this. If you look, then the opening credits are identical between this season and last season. And the second to last scene in those opening credits is Voltron slicing through 3 Robies, and they are the 3 that we've seen: the 2 last season and 1 this season, which seems to indicate to me that we're not going to get any more this season.
Interesting.
Which is corroborated by all our prepping and stuff, and Zarkon's being like, "Okay, enough of this funny business. I'm making it myself, or I'm going to do it myself." So. Looking forward to it. Gonna be cool. But obviously he doesn't want to lose his soul like all the other ones did, so they have to refine their technique a little bit.
I'm kind of worried. What if it's a dark Voltron and then I'm gonna have vicious flashbacks to the Korra Book 2 finale?
Dark Voltron, yeah, not a good idea.
No.
We've done down that road. Let's not do
it's
that.
bad.
Yeah.
It was in so many fanfics. It's bad.
Yeah, no, veto. Unless we can bring Unalak in, then
yeah.
or not Unalak, Vatu. Unless we can bring Vatu, no right. Unalak. Unless we can bring Vatu in.
Well, Vatu's already in because we have the Vatu drop the base laser beams.
Oh yeah, that was okay. So the whale is Vatu. Okay, there you go.
All of the lasers are Vatu. All of them.
Okay. At all time. Yeah, Jeff?
This very last scene exchange between Hagar and Zarkon, her whole demeanor is like someone exasperated with a teenager. Yes. Fine, have your toys.
Yeah, interesting.
Don't worry about security. We'll deal with it.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if this pays off. I want this Hagar main villain thing.
I'm about it. Now that you brought it up, I'm yeah. Also, it'd make it way more interesting because I'm really not scared of Zarkon. I'm you're just this giant purple baby who wants your toy lion back, and I'm really tired of you.
Uh-huh. He's just so raw, and she's really not.
I'm actually low key terrified of Hagar because I'm
you're throwing shade, Delaney. Come on, jeez. I think this is the Azula Ozai dynamic a little bit.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Hagar seems more unhinged a little bit.
She's not as scary as Azula, but
yeah. I mean,
I don't think she's as insane as Azula was.
That's fair.
It's not clear. I don't know. We've seen so little of her.
There's also the fact that Azula was a 14-year-old girl, and that made it even scarier.
And Hagar presumably is 500, right?
And she just looks. She's more Jeff and I Jeff's mentioned a lot. She's just Hama,
Yeah. Yes, Hama. Yeah. Good comparison. Anyway, okay. That's overall. Yeah, we talked about it. Okay. Last thing, Delaney, is that you weren't here for Keith being the Keith Allurin reveal, or the Keith whatever reveal, right? The alien. Yes. So apparently you called that. So yeah, you
hey,
time.
Yeah. I will say all of Tumblr called that long before I did, but
whatevs. Okay, next up we'll be back for Staying Alive and Best Laid Plans.
The titles this season are awful.
Very generic titles, yeah. Escape from Beta Traz. Anyway, there's comments on what you thought of this. Check us out, overlyanimated.com, to keep up with our Voltron coverage. We're getting to the finale very soon. Going to be very exciting. And consider supporting us on patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thank you very much to all of our patrons, especially our patron of the podcast today, Davon, aka Diamond Day. Thank you very much, Davon, for your continued support. Yeah, no, this went super long. So good job, us. And
do we need to have a hashtag, if you got through it?
Yeah, hashtag, something
Rapid Saw, obviously.
No. It's something interesting that we discussed.
No, everyone should message me if you understood my Men in Black 3 reference.
Yeah, literal. That one I'm confident of 0 references.
No, people message me and they get my references, Dylan.
This is way more obscure than normal. Anyway.
I'm gonna get at least one message. I promise.
We will see. We'll see. We'll see what happens next time with Hagar's, the Zarkon armor, Slav, a lot of stuff hanging the balance here. So
hashtag yep.
Yes.
Yep. There you go. And gotta get that on soundboard. Thank you guys for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.